In 1973, actor Anthony Hopkins was preparing for his role in the upcoming film The Girl from Petrovka, a screen adaptation of George Pfeiffer's novel. To immerse himself in the story, Hopkins wanted to read the original book before taking on the role. He spent an entire day searching the bookstores of London for a copy, but was told the book was out of print and no copies were available. After his unsuccessful search, he took the subway home. There, he noticed that someone hurriedly left the train at the station, leaving an item on the seat. That item was a book, and when the Oscar-winning actor picked it up and read the title, he was surprised to discover it was The Girl from Petrovka. This anecdote would already be quite astonishing if it weren't for the fact that months later, with the film released, Hopkins had the opportunity to meet the author of the novel in person and shared the story of how he obtained a copy. The author was perplexed and said he believed that particular copy was his. He had lent it to a friend a few months earlier, and the friend had lost it on the subway. What were the odds of such an event happening in that specific way? Events like the one described above happen daily, some truly fascinating. I'm sure you've also experienced some strange coincidences in your life. Maybe you've thought about someone, and that person called shortly after. Perhaps you were considering a trip to a particular destination and found a guide about that place, or a friend spontaneously mentioned the destination to you. Maybe you had a significant dream that later came true. What is happening here? Are these events mere coincidences or accidents, or is there something greater and deeper at work? Often, these extraordinary coincidences are laden with meaning for those who experience them, creating a profound and sometimes mystical feeling, as if the universe is trying to convey a personal message to us. Swiss psychologist Carl Gustav Jung defined them as synchronicities and made the following statements. What I found when investigating this phenomenon deeply were coincidences that were connected so meaningfully that their occurrence by chance would represent a degree of improbability that would have to be expressed by an astronomical figure. Jung explored how what seems random and accidental could have a deeper and transcendental meaning, suggesting that there is a connection between our consciousness and the universe. He stated that our inner psyche and the external environment are linked in ways that go beyond standard cause and effect. In this video, we will explore the nature of synchronicities and 5 different types of synchronicities that we can encounter. We will see how, by learning to identify them and decipher their hidden messages, we can synchronize with the universal flow and our higher self, attracting what we desire into our lives in total harmony. Let's begin. Synchronicities are very important because they provide personal proof that reality is sometimes malleable, unstable, and sensitive to our consciousness. As Albert Einstein said, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Synchronicities demonstrate that this world behaves more like a collective dream or a matrix-like simulation than an independent physical construct. Quantum physics has shown that physical events are ultimately determined by metaphysical factors. The observer, by the act of observing, determines matter. The reality of this material universe takes shape through consciousness, and synchronicities are a direct manifestation of this fact. Now, let's discuss the different types of synchronicities we can encounter so that we can easily recognize them when they occur. Warning or alert synchronicity. These synchronicities occur shortly before a stressful or decisive event in our lives. They often arise when a situation involving a significant decision that can alter our destiny is approaching. This creates a point of disordered energy in our present timeline, making our corner of reality unstable. When the future is uncertain and we are considering various options, several alternative timelines emerge as plausible possibilities. We know that what seems like a simple decision can lead to a huge and sometimes irreversible change in our lives. In some situations, synchronicities can appear as warnings or alerts so that we do not lean towards a possible negative timeline in our lives. Imagine you are considering buying a house and find a tempting offer. The price is low, and you like the location. You are about to close the deal when your car won't start. You decide to take a taxi. On the way, you witness an accident that delays you even further. When you finally arrive at the bank, right in front of the house you want to buy, you see the police entering the neighboring house. All these setbacks make you reconsider your decision and decide not to buy the house. Later, you discover that the neighbors in the building are problematic and cause serious living issues, which would have made your life very difficult if you had bought the house. If your car had started and you hadn't witnessed the police intervention, you might have made a hasty decision you would regret. This example illustrates how synchronicities can influence our decisions in unexpected ways. Confirmation synchronicity. Confirmation synchronicities often accompany significant and crucial moments for our spiritual growth and personal transformation. Unlike warning or alert synchronicities, these confirm that we are on the right path or help us choose between the options available to us, acting as a compass that guides us in the right direction towards the growth and development of our entire being. When the possibility of growth and expansion of our consciousness presents itself to us, a positive timeline opens for our essence. These positive timelines are very powerful because our essence is highly attracted to them. They are the decisions that lead us to an existence in harmony with our authentic self and our deep purpose in this life. Sometimes, due to disconnection with our essence and our internal fears dominated by the ego, we neglect these opportunities or are hindered by our insecurities. In such situations, synchronicities may arise to make us reconsider these opportunities or provide the necessary impetus to follow the positive timeline. They can also appear as a sign of confirmation, endorsing our correct decision. These are the types of synchronicities that, when they occur, have a profound impact on us, those moments when we say, wow, that was magical. They generally have a very intimate and personal significance, which only we perceive. For example, imagine that for a long time you have had in mind to undertake a project that you are passionate about but also scares you. Finally, you take the first step, leave your fears behind, and invest money in something that will be the necessary foundation for such an enterprise. You are a bit nervous because of the uncertainty and life change this will entail. You go out for some fresh air and sit thoughtfully in a park. Suddenly, two vibrantly colored butterflies that were flying around land on your hands, and at that moment, you hear a voice saying, "So you did the right thing." You look around and realize that the conversation of two strangers walking nearby filtered clearly. You interpret this as a sign, a confirmation that you are on the right path. A deep sense of joy and connection with the universe overwhelms you. Prophetic synchronicity. Prophetic synchronicities, also known as signs, prophecies, or omens, are symbolic messages sent at significant moments. These messages can appear unexpectedly in your daily life, such as the repetition of certain elements, like repeated numbers that have a personal meaning for you. They can also appear in the form of dreams with a meaningful message for you at that moment or as a premonitory dream. They can serve to confirm recent decisions or warn of possible dangers in your path, but they are not always evident. Interpreting these symbolic messages is similar to deciphering symbols in dreams. It requires observing when they occur and the circumstances surrounding them. By recording these experiences and looking for patterns, you can begin to understand their meaning and how they can influence your life. These synchronicities suggest a connection between our waking reality and the dream world, reflecting the idea that both dreams and reality are influenced by our consciousness.
Manifestation synchronicity.
Manifestation synchronicity occurs when you see or hear something that physically manifests as a result of a thought or desire you previously had. For example, thinking about someone you haven't seen in a long time and meeting that person the next day, or needing something specific and finding it when you leave the house, right across the street. What does this mean? Was it a premonition? Did your mind register a future event, or did your thought generate it? Both possibilities are valid and occur, but when our thought directly influences reality, we talk about manifestation synchronicity. In this case, our thought triggers a future event through our subconscious, manifesting externally as a reflection of our thoughts. This is how the law of attraction works, but it has many implications. The fascinating thing about this synchronicity is that the physical events necessary for it to occur can extend into the past, modifying something even before we had the original thought. Think about the case of finding what you want in front of your house. Maybe the decision of the person who left the object was made before you needed it, as if your present decision traveled and influenced the past to synchronically match that object with your present need. This may seem impossible, but it is in line with quantum physics, which has shown that our present choices can influence quantum processes of the past. This suggests that both the future and the past are not fixed, but are influenced by our consciousness in the present. Opportunity synchronicity. Opportunity synchronicities are the perfect combination of preparation and opportunity, becoming key tools for advancing our destiny and personal story. These synchronicities are opportunities that arise at the right moment to get us out of difficult situations or open new paths in our lives. Although they may seem unlikely, they fit naturally and effortlessly, as if they were part of a perfectly designed plan. The distinctive feature of opportunity synchronicities is that they fill us with joy and relief when we experience them. Intuitively, they feel right, without friction or resistance. Everything fits smoothly, as if there were a natural harmony between the synchronicity and our life. After thoroughly exploring synchronicity and its different types, let's now see how we can incorporate them into our daily lives. First, developing a sensitive awareness is fundamental. This involves paying attention to the small and seemingly insignificant details of our daily lives. We must be attentive to those interesting moments that could go unnoticed, such as certain recurring themes in conversations or symbols that appear repeatedly around us. These can be synchronic events trying to communicate with us. Keeping a journal is another powerful tool in this process. Recording these coincidences and strange patterns can reveal connections we were not aware of. The journal is not just about recording events, but reflecting on them and trying to decipher their personal meanings. Now, what happens if we go a long time without experiencing synchronicities? This may indicate that we are living in a constant and predictable routine, where time flows without major complications. On the other hand, it may be that we are so connected to our higher self and our inner being that we no longer need external signs to be sent to us. The safest way to unlock synchronicities is to step out of our comfort zone and open ourselves to new experiences. This involves adopting an attitude of wonder and surprise towards reality, as well as exploring our own consciousness through introspection, active imagination, and reflection on dreams. We can also work to identify and discern between impulses and feelings that come from our social and biological programming and those that arise from our inner spiritual core. The more we act from our spiritual intelligence and true intuition, the more likely we are to encounter synchronicities on our path that will guide us along our positive and abundant timeline. In summary, synchronicity shows us that our thoughts, feelings, and experiences are deeply connected to the mysterious fabric of the universe. Being attentive to signs and coincidences helps us align with the flow of the universe, and synchronicity can be a valuable ally in making important decisions in our lives.